For more than 2,500 years, humanity has been fascinated by a single object. Not a royal crown of empires, not treasures of gold buried deep beneath the earth, and not some ancient weapon of destruction. The object that has driven archaeologists, scholars, theologians, and even treasure hunters to dedicate their lives in search is simply a wooden chest. But this was no ordinary chest. From the ancient caves of Ethiopia to the secret tunnels beneath the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, from the traditions of Jewish priests to modern-day expeditions, everything revolves around a single question. Where is the Ark of the Covenant? Some believe it is still kept inside an ancient church in Aksum, Ethiopia. Others think it was hidden deep beneath the Temple Mount before Jerusalem was destroyed. And there are also those who believe the Ark of the Covenant vanished from this world forever. But today, on this journey with Bible Reborn, we are not just searching for a lost artifact. We are diving deeper into its story. We are exploring why this sacred chest once stood at the very center of the relationship between God and humanity. To understand that, we must travel back in time. More than 3,000 years ago, imagine the majestic scene at Mount Sinai. It was around the year 1446 BC. The mountains trembled with thunder. Lightning split the desert sky. A thick cloud covered the summit, and in the midst of that terrifying yet holy atmosphere, Moses stood before the presence of God. At that moment, he received more than the 10 Commandments. He received a blueprint. Not a blueprint for a city, not for a palace, but for a sacred chest. In the book of Exodus, God described every detail of the Ark of the Covenant, its dimensions, its materials, and even the smallest features. The Ark was made of acacia wood, an extremely durable wood found in the deserts of the Middle East. It measured roughly 1 meter in length and about half a meter in both width and height. But its true significance did not lie in its size. The entire Ark was covered with pure gold, not only on the outside, but also on the inside. Golden rings were attached to its sides so that long wooden poles could be inserted, allowing the priests to carry the Ark without touching it directly. Because the Ark was considered so holy that no human hand was allowed to touch it. Yet the most important part of the Ark was not its body, it was its lid. The lid was known as the mercy seat. On top of it were 2 golden cherubim facing each other. Their wings stretched upward and touched above the Ark, as if shielding something deeply sacred. In ancient Jewish theology, the space between those 2 cherubim was believed to be where the presence of God descended. The Israelites called this visible manifestation of God's glory the Shekinah. In other words, the Ark was not merely a container. It was regarded as the throne of God among the people of Israel. But what made the Ark even more remarkable was what it held inside. According to the Bible, 3 extremely important objects were placed within the Ark. The first was the 2 stone tablets containing the 10 Commandments. These were not simply moral rules. For the people of Israel, they represented the foundation of their covenant with God. The stone tablets symbolized the law, the perfect standard of righteousness. The second object was a golden jar of manna. For 40 years, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness without farms, without stored food, and without resources. Yet every morning, a mysterious substance called manna appeared on the ground, sustaining an entire nation. The jar of manna inside the Ark served as a reminder that God not only gives laws, but also provides for his people even in the most hopeless circumstances. The third item was the rod of Aaron. According to the story recorded in the book of Numbers, when disputes arose about leadership among the Israelites, God instructed the leaders of each tribe to place their staffs in the sanctuary. Overnight, only Aaron's staff miraculously sprouted buds, blossomed, and produced almonds. It was a sign that God had chosen him to serve as the high priest. Thus, the blossoming rod became a symbol of life emerging from death, and a confirmation of divine authority. These 3 items, the law, the manna, and the budding rod, represented 3 essential aspects of God's relationship with Israel: instruction, provision, and spiritual leadership. The theologian Matthew Henry once wrote that these objects were preserved within the Ark so future generations would remember that God is not only a judge, but also a guide and a provider for his people. But there is an even deeper theological meaning here. Beneath the mercy seat was the law, the very thing that could condemn humanity. But above the law was where the blood of sacrifice was sprinkled. Once every year, on the Day of Atonement, the high priest would enter the most holy place. No one else was allowed to go there. There was no natural light, no audience, only sacred silence. The priest carried with him the blood of a sacrifice. And when that blood was sprinkled upon the mercy seat, it symbolized a powerful truth. God's mercy covers the condemnation of the law. But history soon entered a dark chapter. In 586 BC, the Babylonian army under King Nebuchadnezzar invaded Jerusalem. The city was destroyed. Solomon's temple was burned to the ground, and from that moment on, the Ark of the Covenant disappeared from history. There is no clear record of what happened to it. No archaeological evidence confirms where it was taken. Only legends remain. Some ancient Jewish writings claim the priests hid the Ark in secret caves before the Babylonians arrived. Another tradition says the prophet Jeremiah carried it to a hidden place on Mount Nebo. Meanwhile, Ethiopian tradition holds that the Ark was brought to the city of Axum and protected there for thousands of years. To this day, no one can prove which of these stories, if any, is true. But the Bible gives us another perspective. When Jesus Christ breathed his last on the cross, a remarkable event occurred inside the temple in Jerusalem. The curtain separating the holy place from the most holy place was torn in two, from top to bottom. This moment carried a profound meaning. For thousands of years, only one person, the high priest, could enter the most holy place once a year. But from that moment forward, the way to God's presence was opened for everyone. The Old Covenant had been fulfilled. And in the book of Revelation, chapter 11, the Apostle John saw a vision. The temple of God in heaven was opened, and the Ark of his covenant appeared. This reminds us that the true Ark of the Covenant is not merely an ancient artifact. Its deepest meaning does not lie in gold or wood. It lies in what it represents. Through Jesus Christ, the presence of God is no longer confined to a chest, a temple, or a specific location. According to the New Testament, human beings themselves become the temple of God, which means the sacred treasure that archaeologists have searched for over centuries is not buried beneath the earth. It lives within the hearts of those who believe. Thank you for joining us on this journey with Bible Reborn. If you want to continue exploring the hidden history, the mysteries, and the deeper meanings within the Bible, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Many more fascinating journeys are ahead, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next video.